family? Welcome to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get into this queen chat. I'm Monique Lovelace. Queens, introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kiki Boom Boom.
What's up, guys? TK Trinidad here.
And today we are celebrating single, as this Saturday coming up will be National Singles Day.
Yeah.
Are we celebrating ourselves? Is everybody on the panel single?
I'm single.
I'm single.
Not really.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, that's right.
we have somebody who is currently not available.
We on the road. We on the road. So
Okay.
it's going good.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna be
Can't
celebrating National Singles Month by myself. Now that I know that, because I didn't know this information, that there's actually a National Singles Day.
I didn't know that either.
I think that I'm going to probably take myself out to eat.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be cute. Like a little day lunch, some drinking, maybe go walking around somewhere.
Don't they have a day like that around Valentine's Day, or is that Galatians just a friend
That's
thing?
Valentine's.
That's like a
thing. It's like the same thing, but like with your friends, and you go out, you have a good time.
Okay.
I never knew that September was like single. I didn't know that. That's dope.
Yes, September the 24th.
Oh,
this coming Saturday. Technically, this coming Saturday is National Singles Day. So you should be celebrating your singleness. If you're single, you should be celebrating the single people around you. So this is the time that I feel like we should really be celebrating, because then the people we know that are single, who have people who are married, who have friends that are married or kids or motherhood, should be sending us gifts and celebrating.
My best friend will look at me and laugh in my face. I'm gonna send her that, though.
You know what? That was an
I'm
episode
gonna try.
of Sex in the City when Carrie got invited to all the baby showers, and she was like, "How come single women, we don't have stuff for ourselves and they send us gifts?" And I agree. All the money we spend on baby showers and wedding gifts, what about the single girls?
Yep. Wedding gifts, baby showers, all of that stuff that you get when you hit a milestone, I feel like we should be celebrated on our day too.
Okay.
I feel like for the wedding gifts, you have to wait for 2 years. You either have to wait for 2 years to get that gift, or if you guys don't survive 2 years, I need to get that gift back, or the money, the value of that gift. Because it just feels like we're here to celebrate you, but then I don't know what y'all did. You just blew up the whole thing, and like that's time I can't get back. That's a whole outfit I can't get back. I bought you an expensive gift, and so I'm not getting that back. So where did the gift go? Who got the gift? Like I feel like, sorry, it's a sore point. People getting divorced just all willy-nilly out here.
Yeah, once I give a gift, because I don't really give a lot of gifts. So once you get a gift, I don't even remember. I just like, okay, I did something. So I feel like Carrie said, Carrie Bradshaw on Sex in the City, we should get something too.
Just saying.
It's just like, okay, so I guess I can retract my last statement. If you want to hit me up in Cash App and give me $5, I can go get Starbucks on my.
Oh really?
I can get Starbucks on my singles day. That's a Starbucks like coffee. I mean,
you can treat yourself.
Yeah. On National Singles Day. I am going to hit up some guys that I know, and I'm going to be like, it's National Singles Day. You single, I'm single. Send me some money.
Okay. Period.
Or you could just adopt the birth season and create it and just say, look, this is when my birth season starts, and you can send me money throughout. I'm just,
season.
Look.
I don't know if I'm going to do the birth season.
I'm just, it's free for the taking. I have benefited quite a lot from it. I'm just, just putting it out there. So now you can send you $5 every week.
I might benefit by taking on the Amazon thing, because I used to be like the priceless thing. So you could do your own little thing and say, hey, it's National Singles Day. Here's my Amazon list. Okay. Y'all can send me some gifts for National Singles Day. I should be
I have an
celebrating.
Amazon list ready, so I'm about to put that in my bio. Here's my Amazon list. Please feel free to shop on that.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely feel like that should be, even though I don't know about Amazon, I'm not, I haven't really shopped on Amazon in a couple of years. But we'll see,
Oh, Amazon got it.
Target list. Gift registry at Target.
Okay. No, literally, I'm doing a singles party and my gift registry's Target, Amazon. See, like Carrie Bradshaw wanted her Manolos back, but like gift registry will be at Target. Feel free to send me a gift card. Amazon. I love food, so feel free to send me to one of my favorite restaurants. Shit.
Or get you a DoorDash thing. So
okay. I would love that.
Yeah. There's so many things.
Yeah, I might do a gift registry at Target to celebrate my singleness, my singledom. Do y'all feel like, well, TK, I guess when you were single, and technically I feel like you're single until you move living together and you may be about
I agree, but like, I mean, I was Spice Me had me in this boot camp. I was dating a lot, and it is a lot. So now that like he's good, like he does stuff that a lot of people don't do. So it's just like I'm good right now.
Well, that's good. Okay, so for us single women, why do you believe being single after 30? We're going to talk about single over 30. Why do you feel like being single after 30 is such a taboo?
I don't think it's a taboo, but society-wise, society has made it, and not for men, but for women, they've made it like this thing like you're a witch.
Say it again.
Not for men, but for women, because men can live their best lives. They can have 50 kids, 50 wives, be married, make kids at 100, be single, and they're called bachelors. Women, God forbid, are single. They're fucking old. They're witches. Apparently, they can't get a man. They're horrible people. It's like, damn.
What's wrong with you?
It's like, what's wrong with you because you're single past 30?
Part,
But for men, it's like, oh, he's a bachelor. Like, George Clooney has been single for like 60 years. He finally got married, and it was so cool because he was like this single, good-looking bachelor, like in his 50s and 60s. Women, on the other hand, cannot, society-wise. So me personally, I don't think it's taboo that women are single past 30. I just hate that society like bother women when they don't have kids, when they don't have a man or a woman or a partner, when they don't have a specific job, or they're not where society wants them to be, quote unquote, air quotes. I think it's sucky that people put that on women.
But I think, don't we also put that on ourselves? Like, I think Drew, because Drew posted a post where like Girlfriends just came out, or he might have talked about it during Girlfriends, where we all thought, because the main character, I think she was 30 and she was a lawyer and she had this big house and all this stuff. And it's not like that for everybody. Yeah. And I feel like, when I was in college, like I'm in the midst of like writing my book, but when I met my first boyfriend, like I thought, cool, I got my boyfriend. I'm going to get this. I'm going to finish up this track scholarship. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to do the Olympics. Boom, we're good. We're going to pop out a baby. And that was all before 30 in my mind. Right. And so I think a lot of, I don't know if it's partly society, but it could also be partly like, how you like grew up. Like my parents were married for 30 plus years. So it's just kind of like, that was just to me, the natural progression of adulthood. So I think a lot, then you start putting the pressure on yourself when that stuff doesn't happen. And then you have the society, and it's just like layers. So, and then I think that's where you mess yourself up. Because I think that was my thing. I had so much pressure on myself that it wasn't like I couldn't find a relationship. It was more that I had all these expectations, but I wasn't really like working on myself, not realizing that I had to deal with the old stuff first to like clear out for somebody new.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you, Kiki. I definitely believe that it's a societal thing. And because of society, that's when your household tends to make you feel like, oh, a woman over 30. Because honestly, I don't think when I was younger, I never was like, oh my gosh, by the time I hit 30, I don't even know if I thought about 30 because it's kind of morbid. This is kind of morbid, but I didn't know, like, a lot of people I knew didn't make it to 30. So it was just kind of like you doing day by day.
Right.
You just trying to get up out of here and not get no baby. You're just trying to get up out of here, period. So it was just like a day by day thing. It wasn't but I do feel like once I hit 30, it was definitely a societal thing because I felt okay with myself. I was like, okay, she 30, she a little upset because she ain't no millionaire yet, but you know, that was the only thing I thought I was really kind of like hurt by, that I wasn't a millionaire yet. But it wasn't until people started pointing it out, like, oh, you're 30, you're not even in a relationship, you're not married, you don't have any kids, huh? That I was like, what? Like, and I think it's a societal thing. I don't think it's something that you really get to think about for yourself and say, okay, if I turn 30, do I want this? Is this what I want? It's always society that puts it on you. Like, okay, by 30, a woman, not a man, a woman should be married and have kids, or on your way to be married and have some kids. Not a man.
And not everybody wants that at like 30. Right. Like, now that I'm in my 30s, when I was 10, I thought 30 was old as fuck because I was 10 years old. So sure, great. But when I got to 30, I was like, wow, I'm actually really fucking young and nothing is really figured out yet. And I think what I love about us now, women now are saying, like, leave me alone, leave my ovaries, my body alone. You don't know my business. Just because you feel that way, and great for you because you did all that at 22. Maybe I don't want that right now at 30. Maybe I might want that at 50. Maybe I don't want that at all. And there's a lot of women who don't want to get married or be in a relationship.
I'm gonna say this. It's nowadays in more progressive, I think, cities. Because it's like, you still go maybe like down south, it's still the same. Like,
not just down south. It depends. It's everywhere. I'm just making my hometown. Because, like, for instance, I'm from New York, but I grew up in Boston. So everybody from my hometown in the small part of Boston all either married high school sweethearts, had kids at like 22. But I do see them now at 35, 36. A lot of people divorced. They seem fucking miserable on Facebook. Like, but
and haggard.
That's what societal told them at 22, 23. That's what they had to do. So someone like me, they looked at us being weird because I was like, no, I was so against all that. I was like, I'm moving to LA. I'm living my best life. I don't want no kids. I'm single. So they now write me and be like, oh my God, you're such an inspiration because you're living your life. I got these 5 kids and I'm not miserable, but they're like, you seem like you're having a good time. And I've been married for 15 years and I haven't really discovered life. And that doesn't go for everyone because not everybody's like that, because there are people who have been married and they love their lives. But I do hate that society puts that on women, and there's some women who just don't want that life. And there's some women who just don't have it yet. And it's just like, yeah, some women actually do want to be married, but guess what? They're still single and it's okay. They're still waiting for their person.
Do you feel like over when you turn 30 that you would be single?
No.
So elaborate. Did you like when you say no?
I feel like
okay.
It was just kind of, I don't know, like there was like a lot of stuff that I've kind of had to go through mentally this year that I didn't realize. And I feel like my first boyfriend, by the time that happened, he had passed away. And that was like traumatic in itself. And then the guy I was dating, it was just kind of like, I just thought that was the progression. And shout out to my mom, because my mom never pressured me. She never asked. She still to this day doesn't ask like, oh, well, who you dating or whatever. Like, she's just, I think that really helped a lot. Else it would have, I think that would have sent me into more of a tailspin. But it's just like, to me, it's just like, I'm like a ride or die person. So I was just going to ride the weeds out. Thankfully that didn't work out. But I didn't think, because I'm one who's always wanted family. I want 5 kids. Like I want, I've always wanted, like, I feel like my parents did a great job. They were immigrants. Now they put me in a good position. So now I want to take the family, like to me, it's more about legacy and all that stuff. So I really wanted that. And I feel like no matter where I was in life, just because of that love and that bond with whoever I was going to have that with, we were going to make it. So I didn't think I was going to be single at 30. However, I feel like those things had to happen in order for me, because I was talking to my other friend, if I had gotten together with one of my exes and stayed with him, I would have left anyway. Like, so I feel like I just had to grow to a certain point where it's like, now I feel like God in the universe is like, oh, you finally, it took you longer than I expected you to, but finally, like, you getting it, here you go. So, yeah, I never got questions from friends and anything like that. I think it was just more of what I wanted for myself. Like, I wanted, I'm gonna, like, one of these kids gonna come out as an athlete. One of these kids are gonna come out like doing their own thing. Well, like, I already had the vision. I know it's not gonna go as is because that's the way life is, but like, that's always something that I envisioned for myself, period.
That's good.
Kiki, what do you think?
Yes, if I'm gonna be honest, I thought I would be single. And the reason is because if I'm gonna be completely honest, I've never been in a relationship before. I'm gonna say,
what do you mean?
I've never been. Now that I'm in my 30s and I've evaluated a lot, yeah, I've been in situationships with people for 2-3 years, and I stayed in those stupid ass situationships because I was so insecure and I wanted something close to a relationship.
Yeah.
So I stayed in those, but those weren't relationships. So if I'm going to be completely honest, I've had only 2 boyfriends in my whole life, and that was 8th and 9th grade. I've never had a boyfriend, and those don't count. So I'm going to be so fucking honest. This is the most honest I've ever been. I've never had a boyfriend before. And that's why I think, like, in my 20s, I knew I was going to be single in my 30s because I've never experienced that. I dated guys for 2-3 years, and to me, it was the closest thing to a relationship. We were together every fucking day, and I wanted that, and they didn't want that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, fine. So I guess I'm shocking the world. I've never had a boyfriend before. I've never been in a relationship.
Do you want a boyfriend?
Yes, I do. That's why I stayed in those bum ass situationships, because they were the closest thing that I was going to get to a relationship. And they lasted 2-3 years. I was in like 4 of them. 2 years, 3 years. Like, and they felt like relationships to me because we were doing the fake relationship bullshit, but I couldn't get that title. And that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, for staying that long. This is like a therapy session. That's my fault for dealing with the bullshit, but I was insecure. I was like, oh, this is the closest thing I'm going to get, so I'm going to stay. You know what I'm saying? I've dated, but I haven't been in a relationship. So he at 35 can say, I've never been in a relationship ever before in my life. So yeah, at 25, I knew I'd be single.
Well, I want to thank you for your transparency, Queen, because
I'm getting emotional. I'm like, oh.
There are other women out there who are experiencing the same thing that you are, and that's important for us to share those things because they know they're not the only one.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. So we thank you for being transparent for that, because that's super important. Like,
yeah, those situationships will have you for real.
It's
not
crazy.
Everybody. Yeah.
And I share that because I know a lot of men and women out there have been, because I'm seeing like mad TikTok videos where they're admitting that now, where they're like, I too have never been in a relationship before. I'm in my 30s. And that's a hard pill for me to swallow, because it's easy for me to be like my ex, because these were people that I dated for 2-3 years. But I thought about it, like, I was never in a relationship with these guys. We bonded. I knew their family. They knew mine. We were together every day. We had great sex. We did trips. We had the fake fucking skeletal of a relationship, but it was not a relationship. I was in love.
So weird.
And, and I said it on one of the past seasons. I was like, I realized that I was in love, but the person probably wasn't. So these are just things that I'm discovering about myself. I'm doing my own therapy. I'm starting to love myself. And it's weird. Yes, I would love to be in a relationship. I mean, the way I was brought up, the way my great grandmother raised me was like, live your life. Fuck these men, date. And that's what I did. I dated, but now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, damn, I actually do want a partner. I want a relationship. I want a boyfriend. I want that. Like, it's not fair. Like, I feel like everybody else gets, that's how I look at it. Like, there's mad basic people who get that. Why can't I get that? I think I'm a great loving person and I deserve that. So, but I will say I'm enjoying my singleness now.
This is the thing too. You are a beautiful person.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that God wants a beautiful person for you.
Yes.
So you can look at other people's situation and be like, you know, this bitch got it, but you don't know what she really has.
Mm-hmm.
It may
That
be
part.
on one.
That part.
So,
I think God has me blocked. It's okay. He gonna unblock my call soon, but no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I know my person is there, and I know what I now know now about being single for this long time. I'm really getting to know myself, and I'm getting to know what I want and what I won't put up with ever again. I will never put myself in a situationship for 2 years ever again. So that's because I used to be hard on myself. I'm like, oh, it's not fair that I'm single, but now, especially during this pandemic, I got to really know myself and really fuck with myself and really get to be like, well, you know what? I would never do this again. I would never date this type of guy again. I would never allow no guy to ever treat me this way ever again. So I've been embracing it and loving it, and I'm trying to like really focus. And I know God will send me my person one day.
yeah.
He will.
Yeah. God is going, the
That's
universe.
the most vulnerable I've ever been. So
The universe is like, we got you. You just gotta let it be. We got you.
yes.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. You know what? I think I focused so hard on not having at a certain age, and I will continue to say this probably every episode this time, that I don't know if I was thinking about if I was going to be single at 30. Now, my last situation was exactly what you were talking about, Kiki. It was never a title. It was a situationship. We are still friends because that's what we should have been. We should have just been friends. It was my fault that I continued to push something that should have never been. And I've accepted that. And I still love him to this day because he's a good friend. But it wasn't meant for us to be together. And you know, that was a lesson that I had to learn on my own, because I can be very strong and forceful. When I want something, I want it, and it's like you can't stop me. But it's another person, and you can't, you can't move people like if they are not ready to be moved. And that's just what that was. So when I was hitting closer to 30, I knew I was going to be single, and I was like, holla fucking luya. Like, let me be single. Like, I was like praising. I was like, I love my singledom. I love my singlehood. Oh my gosh, yes. So I knew by the time that I hit 30, coming out of that situation, that I wanted that I was going to be single, but I wanted to do it differently than what I did in my 20s. So I was able to really focus on myself. And that's been such a beautiful journey for me. So I definitely knew then. But when I was younger, me and my ex, we talked about it, the one I talked about that I was in high school with, and we were going to get married. I definitely believe we would have had our trials and tribulations, but just knowing who he is, I definitely believe that we would be married still to this day if we would have gotten married and he wouldn't have, got in trouble and stuff. So I think then I had a different mindset than I did recently coming into 30. But I was happy about it. I was like, God, please let me be single. Let me focus on me by the time I turned 30. And it was a beautiful thing. So, yeah.
I think too, what people have to realize, these single situationships, to take it as a lesson learned. Like a lot of people, and myself at one point, I was like, man, like I was beating myself up. Like, how did I get here? Why did this happen? Like, why did I take this shit for so long? Blah, blah, blah. And, once you kind of let go of that and take the lessons that you were supposed to learn from that, it really helps. And you're not, because like when you're holding on to that, like that bitterness, it's not going to attract somebody that you really want. It's going to attract somebody that you don't want. And then you're going to find yourself in that scenario again. So like, take the lessons, but at any moment where you find that yourself like hating the individual, like it's not like you still have to clean all of that out. And I think for me, I didn't realize I was still harboring some stuff from that situationship because it ended badly. And it was just kind of like, anytime people brought it, I remember I was auditioning for a reality show, and they wanted I think, like your worst ex. And I literally broke down in tears because the lady was probing. She kept probing, and I like literally broke down in tears. And that's when I realized, like, oh, this is a problem. Like, this is something, and I hadn't seen him in years. Yeah. So it's like the moment I started dealing with that, that's when like I started attracting people. So, you know, just don't take those as, don't beat yourself up. Because I think I see so many people. I know so many people who've been in those scenarios.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I almost started crying when I was telling y'all. I was like, damn, I feel like I'm in therapy right now. But like I told someone who I used to talk to, we had a really honest conversation. And I told this person, I said, to be honest with you, I'm healing. I'm doing a lot of healing from childhood to my to my teenagers, to my 20s, to when you and I dated. I'm doing a lot of fucking healing, and I'm really learning to love myself. I've always liked myself, but I never really loved myself. And I'm really, though I want a relationship, I've really learned to just go with the flow. I've literally said to God, spiritual universe, like, yo, whatever you want to do, you got the will. I'm just going to live my best life. And I've been having a good time doing it. But it did take me a while to get there. And it's still hard. I have my moments. But I'm in this phase where I'm like, damn, where I look back on situationships, like, I will never do that again. I will never date a guy for like that long. Not date, but like situationship, and let me be okay with that. Because I wasn't okay with it when I first did it. And it's like, girl, it's okay to be single. Like, let that shit go. So definitely loving it in my 30s. And I think I think women and men now in their 30s, and you know, we have social media. So like 20, 30 years ago, God forbid you were 30, you weren't married with kids. Yeah, your parents and grandparents are like, something's wrong. Now I feel like men and women, non-binary people in their 30s and 40s and 50s and goddamn 60s get to be like, mind your business. I'm living my best life and I love it. Leave me alone.
Right. Well, speaking of being single and treating yourself right, LaWanda is a woman. Let me get into it first of all. LaWanda is a massager, honey, and it is women-founded premium brand of personal vibrating massagers that bring unparalleled quality to a notoriously sketchy industry. It's travel size. Well, the ones we got, guys, is the bullet, and it's travel size. They have everything across the board to make sure that you get those orgasms that you're looking for. Okay, in every hole. In every hole. And even Tracy talks about it in our annual August episode. So make sure you visit that episode. And also make sure you visit the website, which is www.lawanmassager.com, because these are premium brand products that you're definitely going to want in your bag when you travel, when you with your significant other. Okay, because I mean, I like luxury stuff, and this is really luxury, and it feels luxury too, and it does exactly what it needs. It does exactly what needs to be done, honey. Okay, so make sure you visit them, lawanmassager.com. So yes, as a single woman, I do use that.
Okay.
So I guess my last question in the over 30 kind of part is, but this is overall, what do you feel is a positive about being single, and what's a negative about being single?
I think a positive, like kind of what I touched on, is just getting to know yourself and knowing what you like. So therefore, whatever your next relationship is, you can now practice those things. You now know what you need. You now know what you want. So I think that's a positive. I don't really see a negative. I think for me, if you asked me 10 years ago when I was really hard on myself, like how I just opened up to you guys, I would have been like, oh my God, I'm so lonely. Da-da-da. But now I don't believe there's no negative into being single. I really do. Because I know a lot of people stay in horrible relationships because they don't want to be single, because they feel like it's so negative because they're lonely. And I'm like, actually, I think being single, you get to step away from that toxic relationship and get to know yourself. So I think it's actually all positive. And I feel like when you're optimistic and you're positive and you don't think about it, that's when people will start to come into your life.
That part. Right. Yeah. I think people go through that all the time. And even like married people who got married in their 20s, and then all of a sudden they just get divorced because they have a midlife crisis. It's because they didn't allow each other to grow. And the great relationships that last throughout that, you know, they allow each other to grow and grow beyond that. Like I have two very good friends. They've been married since college, and it's like to see them is amazing because I see different, like they've gone through so much. And but the great thing about being single, like I agree with you, Kiki, where it's just kind of like, especially when you get to the point where you just love yourself and you just happy. Like I'm really happy to like leave my bedroom and go into my office and not be bothered. Like I'm happy that I have space. Like even with this relationship, I'm like, before I was like, oh yeah, we can, but it's like, no, we can hold off on it. Like I'm good. Like I love what we're doing now, but I love, you know, being just kind of almost like fully growing, and you never stop growing, but I love who I've developed into now. It's just like night and day. So I feel like that wouldn't have happened if I was in a relationship and or a toxic relationship. I feel like if I was in a relationship before the shitstorm happened last year, I just feel like I wouldn't have been able to grow. And like so many things, like you were just saying, Kiki, like so many things are being attracted to me on so many different levels that it's just kind of, it's a blessing. So I just like, just enjoy the process. And in enjoying the process, then you're going to meet somebody who also enjoys the process. And then you guys can enjoy the process together.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the positives of being single, I actually wrote about this. So y'all can visit my website at moniqueloveless.com because I think there are multiple positives about being single. One is that you can really self-care and start to get clear on what you want out of life. And that's super important because when we're not clear, we're asking for things and the universe can't give it to us because we're not clear on it. And that's like somebody trying to say, well, what do you want to eat? And you're like, well, I don't know. You know, I like what I like. Okay, what do you like? Okay, you know, so it's kind of like getting clear on who you are and what you really want, or even like Oprah says, don't want, makes it clear on what you do want. So I think that's a good part, a positive being single. I also love dating myself. So I take myself out on dates that I would want to be taken out on. So if it's a nice rooftop dinner or, you know, a fancy little restaurant, because I like going to nice restaurants. That's my thing. So even if it's a nice restaurant, or like I said, I just went to Cabo, like I want to do those things with my significant other. So I'm going to do those things for myself now. It's like, you know, TK, you always talking about her spicy. She said, when you're living out your purpose, you'll find your purpose mate. And that's the thing that you have to do is be living, period. Because then you understand what you're not going to put up with. Or you automatically will get, like you said, Kiki, you'll get in a situation and be like, nah, because I know what I like. And this is feeling a little like not me. So you can continue with your individuality, which is what we really need in our relationships, is our individuality. We're supposed to grow together, but individuality is what should come together, and then you should support each other.
Yes.
So that is, I think those are all the good positives, some of the positives that I have written about on my website. And I'll add it to our website as well. And it's single, 7 reasons why single, being single is a great thing. And I list all of the reasons why. And I really truly believe those. And those are something that I have personally worked on as well in my life. Some of the negatives I would say of being single is, any human being, you got like quarantine and stuff. So any normal human being sometimes get lonely. Like you'll be like, oh, well, I'm a little lonely right now because I wish, I could have a significant other or whatnot. But I definitely believe that the positives outweigh the negatives in this situation, just because you want to get to know yourself. You want to get to know who you are. You want to get to know the things that you want. you want to date yourself like you want to be dated. Like I can't be asking no man to take me out to this restaurant and I can't do it myself.
Period.
See? Like I should be able to take my ass to this restaurant that I want to go to and not have to wait on nobody. Okay.
And that's why I believe in self-care. That's why people write me. I do staycations. I believe in all that shit. I go to the spa. I mean, this is things I've always been doing. I get facials. I get massages. I like to do things that I know I want to do with my partner. But I feel like we got to treat ourselves first. And then when that person's here, you can be like, okay, cool. Like,
right.
I agree with you. Definitely dating yourself.
I get the bed to myself.
Oh, yes.
I get to learn me. I get to have self-care. I get to date myself. Like there's a lot of positives to it. And
it is.
I don't think society looks at the positives, especially for women. And
we're witches. We are witches and we have kids. Are 22 married with a big old house. Something's wrong with us.
It makes sense to train us. Because when you do get the cheating, that's okay. When you do get the abuse, that's okay. Like you know what I'm saying? That's training.
I'm like, listen, there's more women and men in this world. And I'm talking from a straight person's point of view, but dating in general is hard for gay, straight, queer, non-binary. It's just hard. And especially in today's time, we live in a social media world. Like people meet in different ways. So that's another thing that society doesn't take account for. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit different than 20 years ago when a lot of people were getting married in early age, probably divorced later, where now 30s and 40s, it's a little different for us because as millennials, we're working, we're hustling, we're living our best lives, and then we have. So it's a little bit harder.
And yeah, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage. You had people who 20 years ago, they graduated from college and they went into their job. Now you graduate from college and you're like, oh, you need to do an internship and you need to do this. And like just coming from a student athlete perspective, I speak to so many people who are student athletes. And if you don't go pro, even if you do go pro for a year or two, you're finding yourself something that you dedicated literally your whole life to. And now you're done. And now you have to figure out what you want to do. Like that takes time. It's just kind of one of those things where it's not like the rate of people living with their parents. Like everybody I meet who lives with their parents, not guys I date, but it's like people that are like coming out of college, like, yo, stay at home as long as you can, stack your money. And because it's hard out here. It's hard. So it's a different world now where, people are not coming out of college 21, 22 and getting married. One, the marriage is expensive as fuck. And then you're dealing with all these issues. So, and then you have people like Tracy Ellis Ross and other people who are leading by example and they're living their best life. And they're like, if I meet somebody, great. If I don't, that's okay too. And they look happy. I can't speak to, I don't know her personally, but she looks happy as fuck. And she's living her best life. And that's the great thing about social media. That's a great thing to see. Now you are seeing people who are older and like, it's okay.
Right. I love that. I love Tracy Ellis Ross. I love that. Regina Hall, like, oh my, I love seeing them Sanaa Lathan because that makes me feel so good. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
It's like the aunties for me. I'm like, yes, beautiful single women living their best life. There's hope for me.
Right. And it's real. Like you can live your best life but you have to figure out what you want because society tells you that that's what you should want. And it's so hard to undo that. Cause I even find myself sometimes like, well, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. Like I'm about to be 30. And I'm like, but Mo, do you want that? Mm-hmm. Like, is that what you want? And so, you do. It really is something that you can figure out on your own, even when you are coming out of college or whatever. You got that space in that room to kind of like be like, okay, what is it that I want? Because you're developing what you want. How will y'all be celebrating National Singles Day?
Well, let me start. Well, I think I'm going to celebrate like I will always do. I'm the queen of treating myself. So I think I normally do it anyway. So I'll be
Right.
back in I when this airs, I'll be back in LA. So probably will take myself out to a cute little dinner,
Oh,
drink.
rooftop. We should
We should do like a little rooftop gathering.
do it. We
I would,
should.
dressing sexy, just like Valentine's Day. Like TK said, like, on Valentine's Day, women and men celebrate, really women, Valentine's Day, where people get together and they're single. And I think single people, men and women, should enjoy single life. Go out, maybe go to like a little dating event, maybe a little singles event, and meet single guys, That's probably how I'll do it. But I'll be in LA, so hit me, guys. Link me.
Listen, I might have to put that together. All the single women that I know.
Yeah, let's do something.
We should go out to dinner and then maybe go out somewhere to meet people. Yeah, because I've been in Inglewood lately. Ladera Heights, Inglewood, like Baldwin Hills area. Somewhere that smells like cocoa and shea butter.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I know you guys do, but for like folks who are like almost like they're in the waiting process, like they're waiting for him to come, it's like, take yourself out. Like one thing that I was taking myself out, but one thing that I changed up, that I actually got a lot of guys from like Spicy was telling me to like go out in like that dress. And so I have like that dress, and every time I take myself out, it's like I'm getting like the higher quality men. So it's just kind of, so it's like not, definitely start on Singles Day, but it shouldn't just be a day. Like celebrate just like, I mean, the birth season came out of something that was very tragic, but at the end of the day, I do it because it's just like, it's a celebration. Like if you think about how you came into this world, you were one of 10 million sperms, bro.
Yes.
And then on top of that, your mom had to carry you for 9 months. Some kids don't even make it past that. Then you're in the crib. Some kids don't make it past the crib. Like, yo, Monique's telling me how some people don't make it to 30. Like, this every day is a blessing. So at the end of the day, if you single or not, treat it as a blessing. So put that dress on, let the tatas show, and like live your best life and be happy.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because I've been doing that anyway. I would not, because I was supposed to be in Greece, but I had so much fun in Cabo. I was like, but you've been putting jet skiing on your planner for the last few months. I'm about to get on this damn jet ski. We about to jet ski on up, and there was 3 fine black men out there jet skiing too, honey. Oh, come
on. I know that's right. That's right.
Yes. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to set some reservations up, Kiki, and have a little singles group come out. So then afterwards, we can all, the little singles group. TK, you can join, but you got to bay now. We don't want to interrupt Bay. What he got going on.
I'll say probably on the day, he'll probably be doing something,
Oh, you'll be busy that day.
You can join, but
I know that's right.
Interrupt Bay.
TK's like, I'll be busy, honey.
Because afterwards, we need to take our little single selves out and have fun.
Period.
Hey, I'm pretty sure I can find something to do. But this wraps up this episode. Queens, let them know where they can find you.
Yes, you guys can slide in my DMs and, cash at me, send dick pics, all that great stuff at Kiki Boom Boom.
Woo! You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. If you like boxing, wrestling, all that good stuff, find my shows on Fight TV. If you want cocoa butter, go to centerin.co. And like I said, TK Trinidad everywhere. Cash at me, Amazon me. I'll do a target list for you too if you want that.
And you can find me on IG at It's Monique Loveless. Also, make sure you visit my website, because I do talk about being single, the best reasons to be single, which is MoniqueLoveless.com. And follow us everywhere at Queens Uncut on all social media platforms. Also, look at this video or other videos on YouTube at Black Queens Uncut. Just go in the search box, put in Black Queens Uncut. We should pop up. Make sure you subscribe, follow, let your friends know all of the goodness that's happening. Rate us on Apple as well, so we can get this stuff up. Okay. And tune in every Wednesday. Put on your notifications so you can tune in every Wednesday on a new episode. Catch up with our last episodes, our season 1 and 2, and the rest of 3. We love you, Queendom family. We will see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.